Japan's obesity rate sits at around 4%. America's is over 40, tenfold difference, and Japan is pulling it off while still eating rice, noodles, and dessert regularly. Almost nobody there counts calories. And only about 3% of the country belongs to a gym. Their secret comes down to a handful of simple habits woven into daily life. Habits that specifically target visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat wrapped around internal organs that's most directly linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. If this is teaching you something new, hitting like helps more people see it, and subscribing means you won't miss what's coming next. And if someone in your life needs to hear this, sharing it with them takes 10 seconds and could matter more than you think. Habit 1 comes from Okinawa, the Japanese island with more 100-year-olds per capita than almost anywhere on Earth, a place researchers have studied extensively for clues about longevity. Elders there say a phrase out loud before eating, Hara Hachi Bu, meaning eat until you're 80% full, then stop.
This isn't a diet trend, it's centuries old, rooted in an ancient Confucian teaching passed down through generations. The idea that overeating is a form of excess
rather than a health strategy worth chasing. And it shows up in the numbers. Okinawan elders have roughly 80% less heart disease than the West, along with about half the rate of colon cancer. Here's the mechanism behind it. Fullness hormones released in your stomach take about 20 minutes to reach your brain. Eating until you feel stuffed means you passed enough 20 minutes ago without knowing it. Stopping at 80% lets that signal catch up right on time. And researchers estimate this single habit cuts food intake by 20 to 30% without counting a single calorie. Less intake means less insulin spiking. Notice the smaller, controlled response. Chronically elevated insulin drives fat storage, the type most closely tied to arterial inflammation and rising blood pressure over time. The easiest way to actually find 80% is pausing about 2/3 of the way through a meal and asking honestly, am I still hungry, or am I just finishing what's in front of me out of habit rather than genuine appetite? At 80%, satisfaction is there, but so is the awareness that more food could still go down easily. If the word full already applies, that mark passed a while ago without anyone noticing at the time. Habit 2 is how the meal itself gets structured. A traditional Japanese dinner comes as several small dishes rather than one loaded plate: soup, fish, a couple of vegetables, a modest bowl of rice. This naturally caps portions and plays a visual trick on the brain. A table of empty small bowls signals done, even when total food eaten is far less than one heaping Western-style plate, stacked high with pasta or potatoes. There's a second layer here worth knowing specifically for heart health. Eating protein first, vegetables second, and carbohydrates last has been shown to reduce the blood sugar spike from a meal by as much as 44%.
Protein triggers fullness hormones sooner, and fiber from vegetables slows how quickly sugar from carbs enters the bloodstream. Lower blood sugar swings mean lower insulin demand, and stable insulin is directly protective against the visceral fat that surrounds and stresses the heart and major blood vessels. Tonight, without changing a single ingredient, simply eating in that order, protein, then vegetables, then rice or bread, changes how your body processes the exact same meal. No new grocery list required. Habit 3 is the one with the strongest research behind it, specifically for cardiovascular health, and it comes from Shinshu University in Japan, developed by exercise scientists studying how to safely improve fitness in aging bodies. It's called interval walking training. Instead of walking at one steady pace, you alternate 3 minutes of brisk walking, a pace where talking takes real effort, with 3 minutes of easy, comfortable strolling, repeated for 20 to 30 minutes for the 5 days a week. A 5-month randomized controlled trial comparing this method to steady, continuous walking found interval walking produced significantly greater reductions in visceral fat and meaningfully lowered systolic blood pressure, a drop the American Heart Association considers clinically significant enough to measurably reduce cardiovascular event risk. Continuous walking at the same time investment failed to produce the same results. The reason ties back to cortisol, your body's stress hormone. Visceral fat cells carry more cortisol receptors than any other fat in the body. And after age 50, the hormonal buffers that used to keep cortisol in check decline, meaning punishing high-intensity workouts can backfire and encourage fat storage rather than burning it. Interval walking delivers real intensity during the brisk minutes without the sustained cortisol surge, which is exactly why researchers designed it specifically with older adults in mind, and why people can keep doing it well into their 80s and beyond, long after harder training styles have become impractical or genuinely risky to attempt. Habit 4 addresses something most people never think twice about: constant grazing throughout the day. A few crackers mid-morning, something from a vending machine at 2:30, bites while cooking, a snack on the couch after dinner. None of it feels like real eating, but every bite triggers insulin. And as long as insulin stays elevated, fat cells stay locked in storage mode rather than releasing what they've stored. In Japan, 3 set meals a day with nothing in between is standard practice, taught almost without anyone consciously deciding to follow a rule. Between meals, insulin drops, and the body dips into stored fat for fuel, effectively delivering the benefits of intermittent fasting without ever skipping a meal or feeling hungry. If a genuine gap between meals feels unmanageable at first, especially for anyone new to this pattern, a small amount of protein or fat, a hard-boiled egg, or a handful of nuts produces far less of an insulin spike than reaching for crackers or a piece of fruit out habit. Habit 5 is the one Japan took seriously enough to write into law. Since 2008, the government has measured the waistline of every citizen between ages 40 and 74, more than 50 million people every single year. Cross a specific threshold, 33.5 inches for men, 35.4 inches for women, alongside other warning signs, and mandatory health counseling follows, with financial consequences that fall on employers if too many employees cross the line. The reasoning behind the law was straightforward and pragmatic. An aging population meant an aging government could either catch metabolic disease early while it's still just a number on a tape measure, or pay dramatically more treating heart attacks, strokes, and diabetes years down the road once the damage had already taken hold. The government chose the waist over the bathroom scale deliberately, because waist circumference reflects visceral fat specifically, the fat wrapped around organs that scale weight alone can't reveal. A once-weekly measurement, bare skin, same time of day, right after waking, tracks whether visceral fat is actually declining, even during weeks when the scale doesn't move at all. One caveat worth knowing: holds without carrying excess visceral fat at all, so context still matters more than a number in isolation, the way it usually does with most health metrics worth taking seriously. None of these 5 habits require a gym membership, calorie counting, or eliminating rice, noodles, or dessert entirely. What they share is a consistent effect on insulin and cortisol, the 2 hormones most directly responsible for where the body chooses to store fat, and specifically why that fat tends to concentrate exactly where it's most dangerous for the heart. None of this happens overnight either. These are habits built over years and generations in Japan, not a 2-week challenge with a dramatic before and after photo, and the honest expectation should match that reality rather than promising something faster than what actually works. Now here's one worth trying this week, rather than just watching. Measure your waist, bare skin, right after waking, breathing out normally, no sucking in.